Hi, welcome to the Wet Coast Walls podcast. Today is August 25th, 2016. I'm Bernadette, otherwise known as Eco Geek on pretty much everything. And this is...
I'm Glenda. On Ravelry, it's just Glenda. On Instagram, it's Glenda McDonald with MC. And you can find the store on all the things at just Wet Coast Walls. So Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and Ravelry and everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you can find our show notes down in the doobly-doo. Also on our Ravelry page where all the fun hot links are, and then on the blog.
Ooh, I think I might be behind on the blog. I have to put... It might be at episode 7, and now we're at episode 9, so I have 2 to catch up on.
The blog sometimes is last priority. But, yeah, so welcome.
Welcome. Welcome back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, welcome to old people and new people and just everyone. Yeah, it feels like it's been forever. Or not forever. It feels like it's been like last week since we podcast, not like 2 weeks. What is happening in my knitting bag? I'm sorry.
Happening?
I'm like trying to pull out yarn and it's just like things are just going wrong. Okay, anyhow. So we have a lot of knitting.
We do. So I think we're just going to dive right in.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I'll start with my...
Finished objects.
FOs, yay. And this one you saw almost finished last week, or 2 weeks ago. And I said on that one I was going to finish it that day, and I did. So this is my Naima sweater. Okay, let's move the chair quietly. Oh, it's so warm with this on already. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's a nice long sweater coat, as you can see. You can't even see the bottom. I'm too short. The pattern is by ANKESTRiCK, and there's, it's pretty straightforward top-down construction on this sweater with this really fun eyelet detail all the way down the sides. This is the long version in the pattern. And I don't know what else to say. It was really fun to knit. It took me ages because I started it last year. It was supposed to be my swoat for last year, my sweater coat. But I love it. Look at the fun patterns on the pockets. It's a little wrinkly. I had it in a bag, and I forgot it was in a bag. So
What yarn was that one again?
It's made with Diamond Highlander, which is a sport weight Highland wool. Really great one, actually. I really like the yarn.
Did you hold it double? I don't remember.
No, this one's single strand. It is loose, like it's, because I have strange gauge, and I think it should be knit with a double knit. Or no, it's supposed to be done with a sport, but somehow I had to me it's a very loose gauge for a sport weight. Like you can, look, it's see-through.
Well, I've seen people knit it with Cascade 220s, so my brain feels like it's a heavy sport, almost
yeah.
a DK, which some, like, Cascade
yeah.
220s aren't almost
And then
DK.
like I said, I get unusual gauge, as we all know, so, but no, I love it. It's really nice. And of course, Vancouver's not really that cold, so I didn't really want like a heavy, I'm hoping to wear it as a coat in the fall. And if it was too heavy, it would be too warm, so.
There you go.
Do you want me to do another one?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll show you the next one. This is my last, so that one counted in Stash Dash, and this one counted in Stash Dash. And this is if you're on Instagram, you've seen it there. Oops, sorry.
No, it's just like
punch you.
thing and all.
It's so pretty. This is the Rain Shawl by Andrea Mowry. She's the designer. Her Ohm shawl is super popular right now. Everyone seems to be making it. So this was made with Custom Woolen Mills yarn, which is woolen spun, or also called mule spun 2-ply, which is very similar to the yarn that she designed the pattern for.
Woolen spun and mule spun are two different things.
Really?
Yeah, woolen spun is a technique of spinning
like a single?
No. Mule spun is a way of spinning yarn commercially that mimics hand spinning. Woolen spun is a technique that traps more air in the yarn. So they're two different things.
Okay, well, it's a mule spun yarn.
It does mimic hand spun.
It makes a really lofty, like this is a really lofty yarn. Like it's a heavy worsted technically, but it doesn't like, it's a bouncy, lofty.
It's woolen spun. There's lots of air trapped in it.
Gorgeous. And it's so squishy, and I can't wait till it's cold so I can wear it. It's so nice. All week I've been like waiting for winter to show up, which did not happen because it's like 25 or 30 degrees out there, and it's only 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep. But it's supposed to be 20 and rainy.
Yay!
Which you can tell we live in Vancouver. They're like, yay, rain!
Yeah, you go ahead.
So I have significantly less faux than Glenda did, but I'll start with my final Stash Dash faux, which is in this bag, which I did not get out of this bag. Is this guy.
Oh, yay.
This is my handspun that I was working on last time. So what is it? So this is Ancient Arts Polworth silk in their Vancouver colorway that I got at Knit City in 2014, I looked on my stash. So what I did is I spun it all as a single, and then I fold them, so I semi-felted them, which you can sort of see if you look at it. It's kind of fuzzy. It matches my hair. Yeah, it's around, I think, 566 yards, because it's a fold single. And yeah, it's got tons of colors and is very smooshy, and it's kind of slightly stuck to itself, because I semi-felted it. But what I did essentially is I filled up a bowl with hot water from my tap, not boiling water or anything, but hot enough that I needed gloves, or I would have hurt myself, and a bowl of really cold water. And I put it in the hot water and like smooshed it a bit, and then I put it in the cold water, smooshed it a bit, hot water, smooshed it a bit, until it was like kind of sticking to itself, but not to the part where it was like one massive unit. I've heard of people machine fulling singles, and that sounds like a terrifying concept, because this happened really fast, and I can only imagine like not being able to have control over it.
I think if you can do that kind of thing with it, it's best with a top loader machine, because then you just check on it every 2 seconds. I've felted like knitted wool.
Well, but like if you're
fabric.
fully felting something, but this
Yeah.
is like only semi-felted. Like
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
want to like fully felt it into like something that was this thick around, which would have been cool, but not what I was going for. I wanted like a really, so it's like it's a light fingering, not quite a lace, but it's handspun, so it's kind of thick and thin. Goal is to hopefully knit like, I'm thinking either a Pebble Beach or something with it. I might have to swatch, do a small swatch to see how it knits up, because I don't know if it'll be stripey. It'll probably be kind of variegated. But I'm really happy with it because this has been in my stash forever, and I was kind of hoarding it. But this technically counts for the Canada Cal.
Oh, that's right.
It's not a knit along, but it's a finished Canada thing.
That's
Because it's
true.
ancient arts fiber, and it's inspired by Vancouver. So technically,
Depends on who. Yeah, it depends on who's
for the
whose
two
thing
tangled
you're putting
skeins,
it in.
that's dose entries.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my range shawl will work because it's Canadian wool
There you go.
from Canadian sheeps, no less.
I'm sure. Yep. Yeah. So that's my. I have one other faux as well, but it is not here.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to talk about it now, and then I'll.
Yeah, sure. And then you can do your victory dance. Victory. So I also, it's not finished, but all the knitting is finished. I was doing a test knit for Jane Richmond for her West Coast cardigan, which is her Cowichan-inspired top-down raglan pattern. And I'm done.
It's so cool. I
Pretty
really
much.
like it.
I'm very excited about it. I was so excited about it, I had to block it yesterday when it finished. So I couldn't bring it because it's still really wet. I may or may not have possibly hurt my wrist because it was so heavy. Also, there are now 6 wet towels in my bathroom,
Oh yeah.
which Brian was kind of unimpressed about.
As long as you
But-
leave some to shower with.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no, it was just funny. He came home and there's like 6 towels and like a wet sweater. He's like, what were you doing? I'm like, I'm done though.
But if you put it in your craft room, there's a lot of sunlight in there.
Yeah,
So
it's
it
in there
should
right
dry
now.
pretty quick.
But I did it like last night because
yeah.
the pocket lining took me forever. Because I knit it with the Custom Woolen Mills Prairie Sea Fusion, which is the same thing as the Custom Woolen Mills 6-ply, but has a slight twist to it. So you get a closer gauge to the Briggs & Little yarn that she used in the pattern. But because it has a slight twist in it, when you go to do the pocket, she says use 3 strands of the 6.
Oh, so it is
6 strands?
half of the 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but to get 3 strands of the 6 strands on a slightly
yeah.
twisted wool,
Yeah,
I had to
that's-
like pull off grams and untwist it and
Yeah.
then wind it up. And it
And
was
there's
kind
so
of
much-
labor intensive.
Yeah.
But I, like, in theory, you could have used a worsted weight or something that was just thinner, but just for consistency and for the test knit, I wanted to do it the way she said.
Yeah.
So it's all finished knitting. I will try and put a picture of it here. It is my favorite thing in the whole world, and once again, also want it to be winter.
Yes.
The test knit was super fun. I just have to, you can either pick up and knit for the zipper attachment thing, or you can crochet. Pretty sure I'm going to crochet.
Oh, to do the edge, yeah.
Yeah, just because crocheting I think will be easier. And I'm more familiar with crocheting, and my picking up and knitting isn't my favorite thing in the whole world. But yeah, it's top-down raglan construction, super easy. I figured out, so on one of the sleeves, like the color motif is the same, the colorwork motif is the same as the body, and it's supposed to line up. Glenda pointed out to me, on one of the sleeves, it like stops lining up about here, and I realized why. It's because Brian and I were watching Stranger Things.
Oh, and you're tense when you're knitting it. Yeah,
Yeah, because I was just like
absolutely.
super into the show, and I was like,
Yeah.
what's happening?
It's
So,
totally, because her row gauge was different. Is
Yeah.
basically the problem.
yeah. It looks, I don't care. It's like slightly shorter.
It may,
But
did it
it's-
seem to block out?
I haven't checked. I was just, when I put it on while it was wet, I was just so excited it was done. I didn't check. But we'll find out. I'll bring it next time and we'll see it with the pocket lining sewn in and the zipper.
We'll just cut your arm off, shorten it.
Oh no. It's, if I learned anything, we had workshops with Sylvia Olsen last year about cowhitch and sweater knitting. Mm-hmm. If I learned anything about traditional cowhitch and sweater knitting, it's very laissez-faire. And they wouldn't rip that back out and fix it. So I'm not going to do that.
What do they call it? It's a window?
It's a window.
She said it's a window in the sweater. It's a window to your feelings and your emotion at the time you were knitting it.
Exactly. And I'll look at the sleeve and be like, oh, I remember that Netflix show. I wish the second season was out already.
That's funny. I still haven't seen that show.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm waiting to watch it with Mike, which doesn't happen very often, so.
No, I was waiting forever to watch it with Brian. I was like, Brian, it's a show based off of Stephen King. You love Stephen King. Or it's like, it's Stephen King-esque. I was like, we should watch it. And he, like, didn't believe me, so it took, like, a month and a half for me to be like, Brian, watch the thing! And finally watched it. And they came home from work one day and just, like, sat down on the couch and looked at me and was like, are we watching Stranger Things? He's like, yes. I'm like, have you been thinking about it all day? He's like, yes.
We're kind of saving it up because, we're watching a couple of other series right now, and so we're waiting until we finish those and then run out of things to watch because, and now that the Olympics is over, that kind of put a hiatus in because that's all we watched for 2 weeks.
Makes sense.
But,
this is occasionally it's about knitting.
Oh, yeah.
So my finished dash total was 8,607 meters, which honestly is not bad meterage.
Pretty good, yeah.
Better than what I did last year, but is disappointing for reasons that will become obvious.
Mostly because if you go back to like 2 episodes ago and you see how much Bernadette was ahead of me by like 2,500 meters or something, and I was pretty much assuming, I think at one point I was going to throw in the towel and say I was not continuing. But in the end, I finished officially...
You haven't shown me, I was like, you haven't shown the rest of your photos though.
Oh, well, so the ones I've shown, though, were the only ones that counted, because, and that brought me to 10,733 meters. So I made it for the 10K. Yay!
See, what's so annoying about that is, well, besides the fact that I was too cocky, so humble pie is my breakfast. But, like, the crochet granny square blanket I was working on, if I'd finished it would have been 2,500 meters-ish. Yeah. And, like... my arm literally wouldn't crochet it anymore, and I was like betrayed by my body to like not win.
Well, if it's any consolation, this last week I've been suffering from mine too, but I'm trying to fight through.
I was like, it's not really, but
so yeah, the last thing, what I could have counted, and I realized I thought I missed the deadline on this one by like 20 minutes because the cutoff our time was 10 o'clock at night on Sunday. And at 20 minutes past 10, I finished my giant carpet, which I'm going to put a picture in here. And this carpet I started it a couple, 2 Christmases ago. It's basically, if you know those the old rag rug carpets where it's like I guess you braided the rags together and then coiled them, made them into a big coil. That's what I did with it to make this carpet, except I took 2 strands of a bulky weight yarn and knit them together into a 5-stitch I-cord on 10mm needles and made a really fat, it was about this big around, a big fat long I-cord, and then I would lay the I-cord out into a big oval shape and stitch it together on the back. And I didn't finish the sewing of the thing until 20 minutes past 10, but technically the sewing it didn't have to be part of the, but it wasn't finished unless it was sewn. That's what I don't understand.
No, but the knitting was finished.
The knitting was finished at like 8 o'clock. So technically, and that would have given me an extra 2,800 meters, which would have brought my total to, like, did I write it down here? Yeah, it would have been 13,587, but I didn't register it in time, so it doesn't technically count. But, so yeah, the rug is really cool. I really like it. It's not big enough. I used up the 18 skeins of Custom Woolen Mills 3-ply that I had, and I just measured it this morning. It's, after blocking, which was an exercise in itself, it's, what was it, 50, I think it's 58 inches by 38 inches, and we want it more like 5 by 7, so it needs a lot more. And of course the geometry of these things is at that outer edge, that like the inner center uses way less yardage than the outer part, so I'm probably going to order another 18 or 20 skeins and put that on and see what happens. But not right away. I'm going to take a break on it. The other thing is that when I was quilling it up, if you look at my Instagram, you'll see some pictures, and I did the inner ones a little too tight, so it kind of ballooned up. So I threw it in the bathtub to block it, and like stretched the heck out of it. Excuse me. And now it lies. There's still a wee bit of a bump, but it's going to go under a coffee table anyway. So. And if you're wondering, the whole reason why I knit a carpet was because I was out shopping for a carpet with Mike, and we were looking for a coffee table and a carpet, and we decided we wanted not a rectangle carpet, and we couldn't find anything. And then I'm like, oh, I should just knit a carpet because I could totally just knit one. And so then he said, okay, you knit the carpet, and I'll build a coffee table, and we'll see who finishes first. We've had the coffee table for a year and a half, and the rug isn't done.
I feel like the coffee table, it's a faster project though. Like you don't have to like go down, cut down the tree, make the tree into wood. You just have to take the wood and make it into a table.
Get the planks and glue the planks together and then cut it. I don't know, whatever. But
as someone who's made tables, it's less work.
I think so. The other thing too, you'll see in the photograph that I took this morning. Our last place had brown laminate flooring, and now we have gray laminate. Like it's more of a gray brown, and the carpet kind of blends into the floor in this new apartment. It looks better in the old apartment, I think.
You could do a contrast outside. Just do a different color outside.
I was thinking about it because the yarn only comes in 3 colors, like white, medium gray, and dark gray. And I was thinking about doing dark gray for the other part.
That'd be cool.
But we'll see what happens. So yeah.
Ombre carpet.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
And you have one more.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh! And this is
crazy.
I need winter. I totally need winter for this.
I think we all do. I think we've reached the part of the summer.
Yes,
at least on every podcast, it's like, is it fall yet?
So I just finished this yesterday, and it's so great. This is you can hardly. Oh yeah, you can see it there. The light's okay. This is my new short sweater coat, because you need more than one swoat, clearly. This is called the Watlyn, I think. Yes, the Watlyn. I keep saying the wrong name. It's Watlyn is how it's spelled. And it's I think she calls it the Watlyn sweater. It's made with Custom Woolen Mills Sea Fusion yarn, which is the same yarn that Bernadette used for her sweater. But of course it's one color. And this sweater, when you look at it on Ravelry, it's, sorry, I have to take it off, it's too hot.
Yeah, it's super warm in here.
We also can't run the AC while we're filming because it's too loud.
Super loud.
The coat is modeled on a child. So if you see it, it actually does go to adult sizes too, but just she's got it modeled on her daughter. And in the pattern, she says it's 7 inches of ease, or at least that's what the kid is wearing. I did not do a size with 7 inches of ease because when you're 5 feet tall, it doesn't look good to have that much ease on a super bulky weight sweater. So mine's about 4 inches of ease. I was doing the 14-16 size, which is like a finished size of 39 inches for the chest, and that I think it'll block. It's almost there right now, and I think it'll block out just a little bit once it's, because the yarn just blooms really nicely.
It does. It's amazing.
Yeah. And the other thing that I found weird about the pattern is my size was supposed to use 750 yards, and I used like 570. And I don't think that's to do with, I don't know, maybe she was, because she's counting based on the number of balls of yarn you'd need, and I didn't check that part. Just, I did the calculation and thought I'd use 3 cones of yarn, and I only used 2 with some left over. So, yeah. And it's super fast. I started it on Sunday and did like 2 rows, and then I knit most of it on Monday and Tuesday. Oh, and I changed the sleeves. That actually took me a long time too. So I would have finished it earlier, but the sleeve, because I probably was initially designed as a kid sweater, the sleeves are very straight and wide, and I wanted them to be tapered around the like my forearm. So I kind of kept trying it on and shaping it, and then fortunately took halfway decent notes. So well, actually I didn't even do that. I was able to count the rows for the second sleeve to make it match.
You should put the notes on your Ravelry page in case other people want to do it.
I'll try. I have to count out the number of rows I did. So therefore, you'll have to pay attention to make sure that your row gauge is the same as mine. Otherwise, it won't work.
There you go. I never count my or check my row gauge. I always count my stitch gauge. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Well, so many patterns. I mean, if it says knit for 6 inches, it doesn't matter how many rows you take as long as you get 6 inches.
I always prefer that.
Yeah.
Because then I don't have to worry about my row gauge. Because like trying to adjust both your stitch and row gauge feels like wizardry, and then of course your gauge is never gonna match. You're trying to get both.
I guess the only place where it's really important is like in yours with the color repeats, because if your row gauge is too short, then you don't get a long enough.
Everyone's row gauge was all over the place, though.
Yeah.
Jane made a comment about it. She's just like, no one's row gauge is consistent. And I was like,
And I think that's true. I mean, no one's gauge is really necessarily consistent, but it's easier to control your stitch gauge than your row gauge, so.
Yep. Exactly. Alrighty. Should we do works in progress?
Sure.
Yay!
You can go ahead because you have lots of those.
Well,
not lots.
I was like, I have 3.
Oh yeah, one of mine is not really. It's just a like. That's
sad.
what happened to it. It's a sad.
When
That's right.
it's just sad.
It's just really
when
sad.
knitting attacks. Now I realized when I pulled this out of the bag after we started filming, I don't think I've made any progress on these since I showed them to you guys last time, but I've been knitting on them now, so they technically count as the thing I'm working on. Because I was thinking about, before I left for Portland, I'm pretty sure these were in the exact same spot.
Yeah, I don't think they were too much farther.
Yeah, I know. So, but I'm going to show them anyway, because I'm working on them now. So I'm working on my pencil socks with my little mouse friend.
Somebody just posted a finished pair of those on our knit along finished object thread.
Oh, cool.
They're so fun. At first I thought they were yours. I'm like, wait a second, you can't be done already.
No, definitely can't. Yeah, so I didn't work on these at all in Portland because I was working on, for some reason, this little column of like garter, just like that makes it look more like a pencil, was too much braiding for me, and I ended up messing it up too many times. So I worked mainly on my other two whips, my sweater and my other socks. So these will now get some love. Yeah, so this is sort of self-striping, but not really self-striping pencil yarn by Yarn Enabler from the Die Another Day podcast. It's also her pattern. So yeah, it's just a self-striping yarn that does this colors, and then you knit with the main yellow ball till you get however long you want your sock to be, and then you put in this guy, which is the metal part and the eraser part. And yeah, so that's, I don't know, super exciting whip. It will count for like the Canada Cal and technically the podcast along knit along as well, and the socks of summer. But I'm gonna try really hard to just get a bunch of whips done, even though Stash Dash is over, because in theory, because I just have to do yardage based knit alongs all the time. The Pigskin Party knit along, which is a NFL season knit along, starts on the 8th of September, and last year she didn't count whips, so I'm a little bit afraid that you also can't count whips this year. So I'm gonna try and get as much stuff done as I can.
Yeah, finish before that one starts, right?
Yep. Yeah, so that's my first whip.
Do you want to do another one? Because I'm almost finished my row. And
Yeah,
then I
for
can
sure.
Show this one.
So I guess I'll show the socks I ended up working on most in Portland. And that is these guys. They're almost done. They just need heels.
Oh, I love them. They're so cool.
So this is White Birch Fiber Arts. What is it? My rainbow is better than your honor student, which I think is really funny. Brian got me this yarn, but it's really, what I love about White Birch Fiber Arts is like the gradient stripe.
Yeah, that's super pretty.
And yeah, so I have a unicorn on that one, and then Saturn on this one. But yeah, right now they're just tubes, and I'm going to try the Smooth Operator heel by Susan B. Because everyone's talking about it, and I bought the pattern, so I might as well try it. And yeah, they're 60 stitches, 2.25 millimeter needle, pretty basic. In Susan B's pattern, you're supposed to do the heel way before you're done the sock, but I was on vacation and like couldn't do the heel at the time. I didn't feel like picking up stitches in a
It's still technically an afterthought, though, right?
Yeah, it's still an afterthought heel, but she likes to do them before.
Is that so she can get the heel or the toe length or the foot length right or something?
I don't know. She just does I don't know. She just does the thing. But yeah, so I'm gonna try that and see how it goes. They'll hopefully be finished for next time. And yeah, what's funny is they're really close to matching, but they're like off by one row, which for most people would drive them insane, but I don't really care. It's because I started with purple.
Oh yeah.
It's like off by like a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like
see in the toes.
It would drive me crazy. I would either want them completely not matching or perfect, but somewhere like almost but not quite. That might annoy me. Or although I'll just not stand with my feet ever together, and then it doesn't matter.
I never notice. But yeah, so those are almost done. Yeah. Oh yeah, and these are living in my Zelda bag, and then my pencil socks are still living in the dog bag, which I love. Mainly because of how the poodle and the pug get me every time.
Okay, no, the greyhound, this guy, still looks like a deer to me.
Yeah. But this just reminds me of Rowley, and then like my mother-in-law has poodles that they don't have that stupid haircut, but they just like look that surprised all the time. And then the wiener dog looks like he's trying to be like super sneaky. He's like, "What are you doing?" I love wiener dogs.
It's fun fabric.
So, yeah. Your turn. I
Okay.
have one more whip, but
So my sad that didn't make it, the flax sweater that I showed last week, I knit down a few inches into the body and then I tried it on Mike just to make sure that it was all going according to plan, and it didn't. We decided not to keep it. I don't know. Normally, like, I mean, a raglan is a pretty universal fit, but somehow I felt like across the shoulder, it wasn't, like, there wasn't enough width across the shoulder, and therefore it was too tight, and is like, I don't know, it fit, like, technically it fit around his chest, but it just didn't look good. It was, like, strangely proportioned, so, and the neck was too wide for him, and like, the whole point was to make a crew neck sweater that he could wear with a t-shirt, and it looked funny with the t-shirt underneath it, so we're like, not even gonna bother. So I frogged it, and it'll become a new sweater. I think I know what I want to make it into, but I have to talk to Mike and make sure he's gonna actually like it. He's been away, so so always happens. He goes out of town when I start knitting him sweaters, and the last few times it's happened, it's like the sweaters are hugely not the right size. So this time I'm being more careful. Okay, so the one I'll show you now, it's this little blue SWAT cardigan that I'm working on. Guys, it looks so tiny. I hope it blocks a wee bit.
yeah, it was like, it looks like a baby sweater.
It does. It's supposed to be a size 8. You can see, let me go up here in front of
Is it for you?
No, it's for my friend's little girl.
Okay, that makes me feel better. Careful with your needles.
So you can see, oh, sorry, I'm clicking needles. That's the back, and this is the front. It's got that the same little lace there, and then the border, which is what I can't pay attention to, or I'm trying to pay attention to while I'm on it's not good podcast knitting. It's like a little, you can't really see it, but it's a little detailed border. Anyway, the pattern is, now let me see if I can pronounce this right. I think it's coquelicot, which means, it's French, it means poppy, according to Florence. And it's supposed to be, it's for my friend's little girl, and she's, the size 8 would be like a little big on her, because I think she's 7 this year. She's going into grade 2, maybe? Grade 1? I can't remember. I think it's grade 2. And anyway, I started this last spring, and I'm hoping it's at least going to fit her little sister if it doesn't still fit Roma. But the pattern is free in the kid size. There's an adult size of it, which you have to pay for. The free pattern is challenging. It's translated from French, and parts of it, I think I was not reading it properly, and I got really confused and started the wrong size and knit some, I don't know. It was weird. I had to knit it twice to get it this far. This yarn is a little bit, I'm hoping it works out, because Rowan has a story, of course it does. Rowan RYC Cash Soft, which is now discontinued. I bought this when I lived in England in like 2005, and it was like a cashmere microfiber wool blend. And I knit it up into a lovely sweater that was supposed to be for myself. And I blocked out, it was an early sweater, one of my, like, the first ones I was making. I did the right thing, I blocked it out, and I, before sewing it together, and then I went to put it on, and then, or like to try the pieces, you know, and put them against me. The sleeve stretched 5 inches. And so I was I just frogged the whole thing. I was so fed up with it and so annoyed. So this time I'm re-knitting it. It's been in my stash for ages, but I'm doing it on a much smaller needle to make it really tight, which works with this pattern anyway. So I'm hoping that holds back some of the stretching. And then, to be honest, if it grows a little bit, it's not so bad because it is for kids. So at least she's going to grow. So it'll, you know, continue. And Roma's so cute. She's vests I've made for her, like 2-3 years ago. She's still wearing them. We've adjusted them so they, like, you know, extended the buttons and like made it so it still fits her, and they love them. So I love knitting for these kids. Yeah. So that's my one. This one I've been working on and off. Like I said, it's not, I bring it to knit group, and then I do 2 rows and I make a mistake, and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this at knit group. So then I put it down again. So I'm going to do exactly that today. We'll see what happens.
Yay! For slight mistake.
Exactly.
Should I do my last one?
Yeah, I do your sweater, and then I'll do my other one.
Right. So yeah, the thing that got the most work when I was in Portland, which is living in this awesome bag that I made myself.
I so need to make a bag like that.
This is like a panel that I got at Dress So that's why it's this weird shape. But I love maps, so it gets to live in there.
I love the little sailing ships. That's the best
there's
part.
there's a little octopus.
Is it really?
Where's
and
the
a sea
octopus?
monster.
Yeah. So there's
my
an
gosh.
octopus. There. And where's the
sea monsters in the Indian Ocean? It looks like.
Yes, he's down there. So it was just a really cute little panel that they had on sale. So the thing that got the most work, and is currently a hot mess and has been ignored for the West Coast cardigan, is my Georgetown.
It looks. Oh, hey, it has a sleeve.
It has a sleeve, and like I clearly was just like, no more of this.
Are these where your buttons are gonna go? Or no, these. Sorry, that's on the sleeve. That's your
Yeah, that's my
decreases.
decreases. So yeah, this is my Georgetown, right?
It's,
Georgetown.
Yes.
I always want to go Georgemont, and then I'm just combining Rosemont. So it is a pattern by Hannah Fettig out of Home and Away.
So great.
And is my take on the sock monkey sweater. It's done in Cascade 220, and what I really like about this, mainly because it looks super cool on camera with the marled yarn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm loving this. But the thing, stop clicking.
The banging against the table, that's the worst part.
Yeah, it was mainly because your things were like almost hitting the mic, and I was like,
oh yeah. Okay.
But the thing that's really cool about the construction of this is it was done bottom up, and then it's a set-in sleeve, but you pick up and you knit down, which I've never done.
Short row sleeve cap?
Yeah,
those
which
are
I've never
so
done,
fun
which is
to do.
super cool, just mainly because I've done a lot of top-down raglans, and I just wanted something different. It is a little bit weird and poofy, but I've tried it on, and it looks fine on my body.
You can block them too, and if you
yes.
actually can block it, put it on when it's wet and massage it, and it really helps.
I did that with a West Coast cardigan, because
Yeah.
I was like, I need you to close. So it will... Hopefully I'll pick this up and work on this a bit more.
Or it could just be puff sleeves, like Anne of Green Gables.
No. Yeah, so there's that. And then I just need to finish knitting this
How
one.
wide is the front on
It's
it?
very wide. The ribbing is super huge. It's like this much ribbing.
Okay, so
it's
is it meant to close though, or is it not a...
Not really.
Okay.
It's I have the book.
We always have discussions about the merits and disadvantages of the sweaters, the cardigans that don't close.
Yeah, this one has a big enough ribbing. I'll show this one.
Yeah.
There's nothing on this page. But also, I just want this life, please. But yeah, so you can see there's a lot of ribbing, and it folds over. But yeah, it's super smooshy. It has a bit of shaping, so it's not like super untailored. But yeah, so the ribbing, if I'm really cold, I can pull it over myself and pin it. But I think it'll look really cute.
It's fun, I love it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get down the other sleeve, do the black ribbing, contrast, bind off, and then pick up hopefully and do black ribbing, which I'm sure will be super fun. And then
Just do it.
that might be the reason I was just like, no more of this. Because there's a lot of black ribbing, and then a contrast bind off. And then I'll weave in all the ends, and then it'll be done.
Yay.
I'm hoping next episode will be a parade of finished sweaters. Also, hopefully it'll be cold, so maybe we'll actually get to wear some.
Well, they're promising rain
Madness.
on the weekend. And
Please rain.
I really want rain.
Yeah, so I love this. It just took a backseat because I got the test knit, and the test knit became the priority. Also, it was a super bulky sweater, and I knit it in like 4 days. So.
Oh, the couch and the the West Coast.
Yeah, I
one?
cast it on Thursday because I couldn't wait. I got home from knit group and I had the yarn, and I was just like, cast on all the
The
things.
super bulky sweaters, like, yeah, they go so fast. It's fantastic. Like, so if you're looking to make a knit city sweater, you have lots of time if you just use a thick yarn.
Well, I'm gonna try and knit
have
a
lots of
featherweight,
time anyway.
so
But yeah,
we'll
if
see.
you want to knit a featherweight and you live in Vancouver, come and take Bernadette's class.
I'm gonna do it in self-striping yarn. It's gonna be great. Okay.
Okay, so my last FO, and this was literally like I just picked this up last night. I kind of overdid it mostly with the sitting because I don't know, something about sitting on my sofa doesn't work for my back very well. And so last night I was like, I went home from work and I'm like, I'm not gonna knit for half an hour of watching really boring stuff on Netflix, and I'm like, I need to knit something. So I went into my collection of whips because I was not going to cast something else new on, and I dug these out, and I think I've done about 5 rows on them since, but they count. They totally count as an FO. I'll go closer. You can maybe see the design. Can you? Maybe. Not really.
If you like angle them to where the light, maybe.
You can sort of see it there. These are socks. This way. They're socks. Okay, I'm going to try one more thing. I could have put them on a blocker, but... Oh, there you go. Now you can see it. So it's like a little zigzaggy pattern, and then as you get into the foot, it's just, there you go, that's the front part. These are called Bertie Wooster's Faux Pas, and if you know Jeeves and Wooster, the TV show that was with, I'm going to forget their names now, Stephen Fry and the guy who plays House, whose name, Hugh Laurie.
House.
Yeah. This was, in the P.G. Woodhouse books that show is based on, Bertie Wooster is this, like, it's sort of 1920s, 30s era, and he's this kind of this, I don't know, he's this rich guy, and his Jeeves is his butler, and so Bertie Wooster is always trying out new fashion things, and Jeeves is always appalled at them, and one of them is purple socks in one book. And so these are, I made them in purple because it's based on that. The faux pas is always the mistaken clothing item that Bertie is wearing in the whatever episode or whatever.
Just channeling his inner Oscar Wilde.
Basically. I highly recommend the books, by the way. P.G. Woodhouse, hilarious. They're so funny. Anyway, so yeah, these socks, these were part of they were actually a mystery knit along that started December 2015, I think. And Jessie was here in town, we are over New York, and she and I knit them, and she finished hers in keeping with the thing, and mine, I did not. So I just finished, there was there's 4 sections. I finished section 3 last night. I'm doing them on 2 at a time magic loop with these are Haya. I hate magic loop 2 at a time with a passion. Every time I make a mistake, because it's not like a crazy complicated pattern, but you have to pay attention. And every time I make a mistake, I'm like, I want my double points back, and I have actually put them on double points on several occasions to try and fix them because I cannot. The two at a time, the magic loop thing, it makes me crazy.
I'm not a 2 at a time person at all, and I'm like a huge magic loop person. I can't do it.
I
them in stereo.
See the benefit of having like not multiple needles if you're on the bus or whatever. You're not dropping them all the time, but
that was my main problem.
My gosh, it makes me crazy. But I'm determined to finish these as they are, because the other thing I'm worried about is because they're so patterned, I don't want to mess up the row and forget which one I was on and not like do them different lengths or whatever. So I'm going to keep going and try and force myself to finish them like this. And hopefully I will. I'm going to focus on my whips again and try and get a bunch of stuff off the needles, these included.
You should do the jasmine thing where you eat cake while you make them, and then it'll make you feel better, like Pavlovian responses to if you
Who's doing that? That's a great idea.
It's Jasmine of the Knitmore Girls. She when she because she doesn't like weaving in ends or something.
Yeah.
But she has to do something that she doesn't like doing. She eats cake while she does it.
Oh, what a good idea.
Because then
you associate the eating cake with doing the horrible thing, and it's not so bad.
Yeah.
That
and also
totally
then you
work.
get cake.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's a win-win situation.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm just gonna.
She has a hashtag for it on Instagram.
Oh, really?
Actually. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll have to check that
if I
out.
can remember, I will put it here. If not, it will be a note that says I don't remember.
The other thing that I want to do. Oh, look, that looks like a mistake. Oh no, that's just stretched out. Never mind. Okay, I'm gonna stop looking at them and stop finding mistakes way back in the beginning. Oh yeah, I have 2 cable. I was watching Sue's Periscope from the Legacy Knits, and she's doing this gorgeous the cobblestone sweater, I think it is, with all these gorgeous cables up the back, and I really wanted it.
Is it the stone cutter?
A stone cutter, yeah. Sorry, not cobblestone.
Yeah, the stone cutter is crazy.
Yeah,
like,
and it's,
even as someone who loves cables, I'm like, no, thank you.
It's gorgeous and
super 80s. It's like very square.
Oh,
and very
yeah.
short. It's not.
No, I don't want to make that sweater, but I want to do this Snoqualmie from Brooklyn Tweed, and I want to do Chartreuse by Thea Coleman, both of which are fully cabled, and so I'm going to force myself. I have to finish all of my. I was going to say all of my socks, but that's too much of a promise. Anyway, I'm going to try and finish as many whips as I can, and then in September I'm going to cast on those sweaters and have fun cables to work on. So it's like bribery. Must finish. You have to hold me to it because I have to take the yarn home for the Snoqualmie. It's over on the shelf.
Okay.
And so you can't let me take it out of the store until I finish at least there's pair of socks and the Mystic Spiral socks.
Okay, that I can do.
You guys can help me do it as well.
I cannot let you do stuff. It's totally feasible. In my wheelhouse. So is that all the things you have?
That's all the things, yeah.
Okay. So I have a little bit of stash enhancement, which will honestly be the last bit of stash enhancement.
Oh, you changed it in the show notes because when I was doing them up,
more accurate notes.
I put in all the yarn, so much yarn was what I put in for her acquisitions.
It's really not that much for me, and this bag is not full. But yeah, so because I went to Portland, I need to get souvenir yarn, obviously,
because they may have 1 or 2 stores there that sell yarn.
And possibly. Like me and my friend Sam literally went yarn shopping for like an entire day, and we did it all in Portland Transit. Portland Transit is amazing. I need to import the people from Portland to here because they understand how to move people in like an efficient manner. And the whole time I was just like nerding out over their transit. The Max Rail is amazing. Their buses, not great, but they're like in the right spots to get you where you need to go.
And ideally, if you have a good train system, or they have a streetcar system as well too.
Yeah, well, like the Max line goes to the streetcar, and the streetcar goes north. Like And, like, there were enough maps, and I figured it out, and by the end of the weekend, I felt like I could have the whole thing, and I, like, could go anywhere, and it was hilarious, because, like, I was trying to shuttle, like, the group that hadn't been with us, like, back from a brewery at, like, the end of the night, on the last night, and I was like, okay, we need to go this way, and they're like, no one had any faith in my ability to do the thing. Anyhow, so Portland, I don't know if anyone from Portland watches, but it was an amazing city. Loved the transit, and the yarn shops were great. And I will now show you the yarn I got from there. It's a reasonable amount of yarn. It's not crazy. So the first place we went on the first day was Knit Pearl, which is in downtown Portland, so reasonably easy to get to. The reason I made notes is so I knew what I got there.
I'm excited to see this one.
So we'll start with that. I got some sincere sheep, which is, I think it's the equity fingering. And it's 100% Rambouillet. It's in the vitamin C colorway. And so it's hand dyed. It's a Rambouillet, so it's a kind of a merino offshoot. So it's nice and soft and squishy. I got a lot of breed specific stuff, which is great because it's really hard to find in Canada without like losing an arm. And I think it's dyed naturally, so it's 255 yards, and it's a 50-gram skein.
It's pretty.
And it's super orange, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. My friend thinks it should be something for my dad, but I don't really think so. Yeah, sincere sheep. It's nice and smooshy. And then the other thing I got was, I think Shannon of Socksetra also got some of this when she was down in Portland at Knit Pearl. But I got a skein of crazy yarn.
Oh, fun.
Which is mill ends from the people who make shepherd's wool.
Cool.
So it's also 100% wool, and it kind of looks like handspun. They say it's a DK weight, but I call that into question. Each skein is different. So you got Stonehenge mill. It's the shepherd's wool mill ends.
Just put them right. I can line them all up.
Yeah, it's like super. It's just the mill ends, so it's kind of crazy and.
So is it one? Are they spun together, or is it actually multiple skeins?
No, it's spun together.
Okay.
I think it is. I was under that impression. I do not see multiple ends.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it may be a Tensfield by Martina Bem, or maybe a sockhead hat. We'll see. But yeah, I mainly got it because I thought the colors would look really cool with my hair.
I like the highlights of orange in it.
Right? And I just think it would look really great on my head with my hair. I think it'll be great. Also, I was going to say, everyone in Portland has multicolored hair, or unnaturally colored hair. I, like, blended right in. It was great. I think there were parents with it. I felt, like, right on trend. It was great. So the next place we went was Pearl Fiber Arts, which is another nice yarn store in downtown. And there I got fiber.
Oh, wow.
Which is awesome and looks like Dalmatians. So this is by Fierce Fibers. It's in the colorway Coexist. And it's a superwash targi. And it's dyed in Oregon. So, yeah, it's 150 grams. Yeah, it's just really nice and smooshy. I'm going to spin it up at some point. I don't know why I keep holding it awkwardly here. Yeah, just looks like Dalmatians. And it's a really, like, it's a decent staple length. When I talk about staple length, it's how long that is. You guys can't see that. But how long, like, one lock of the fiber is. So it's slightly longer than a merino, but still nice and soft and smooshy. I shouldn't smoosh it too much because I don't want it to felt.
The longer, by the way, the longer the staple, the better it is in terms of wearability and durability.
Yeah. It is a super wash, so I'm not sure how it'll spin, but it was a different fiber I'd never spun before, and it was a really pretty color. So, and that's all I got from there, but it was really cute. All the stores we went to were really cute, and everyone was, like, helpful if we needed them without being overwhelming. They also had lots of air conditioning, which was the most important thing, because Portland was randomly 36 degrees. Why? I felt like I was dying.
It gets that hot in the summer, though. I remember Tiffany telling me that.
But I was just like, it was literally like 20 degrees the day before we left.
Oh, here you mean? Or
no,
there?
No, there. And then wow. It was 36.
Well, we kind of had a heat wave here. It just because they're not. We're still on the coast and they're sheltered from the coast, so
yeah, it was just
like going into the interior a bit.
It was just like it wasn't bad. I adjusted. It made like the heat wave here way more dirt. Like I was like, this is great. It's not 36. It's fine. But yeah, anytime we went to a yarn shop, I was like, oh, thank God. In many ways, I was like, oh, yarn and air conditioning. So the next place we went was Happy Knits, I think. Yes, I put that in wrong order. And I got this, which is Black Trillium in their Merlon, I don't know, super sock base. It was the, it's 75/25, and it's an exclusive base, I think, to Happy Knits. And it's the Super Happy Fun color. And it just reminded me of Jessie so much from Yarn Over New York. It's like she exploded on me. And I'm sure she will love a mini of this after I knit it.
For me, rainbow yarn will forever be associated with Jessie.
Yep, and it's just so speckly, and it's going to make like the funnest socks ever, and I'm so happy about it. And I couldn't leave the store without it. Yeah, it's Black Trillium Fibers, which is another Oregon dyer. Yeah, and I love it, and it's so smooshy. And the last place we went, we did this all in one day. It was a lot of stuff. And what was, by the time we got to the last store, which is Twisted, Sam had not bought anything. We'd been to 4 yarn stores.
How did she not buy anything?
She does this when we go shopping. She doesn't buy anything. I told her she didn't buy anything. By the time we left the store, I was just going to steal her credit card and purchase stuff for her. Because, like, I'd bought all this, and I was just like, can you please buy something? Like, I feel really conspicuous. So we went to Twisted. Luckily, we got there slightly, like, a half an hour or so before they closed. So we had some time. And I got this.
Cool.
Which is knitted wet. It's her worsted base in the Witch's Brew colorway. It's 100% merino. But Brian is a huge Halloween fan. Like, it's his favorite thing ever. And I saw this. I was like, 1, I want this in my scrappy blanket. And 2, Brian would really like a Halloween-y hat. So that's going to be for him. And also for my blanket. I love it. And she also had, by Knitted Wit, these super cute worsted weight minis.
Oh, those are so fun.
Which don't exist in real life anywhere else. So I'm so excited that they had these. Because worsted weight minis don't exist.
Look how vivid they are.
I know, it's crazy.
Actually, I can remind me to talk to you about worsted weight minis.
Okay, I will. So this is her glazed over carrot. She calls them gobstoppers. They're 35 yards of a worsted weight.
That orange is just fantastic.
I love it. So there's that one. And then this is Her Majesty, which I also thoroughly enjoy. This one's Emerald Sea. This is my favorite shade of green ever. I'm gonna try really hard to get this to be my hair color next time. I think this would be. I'm close.
It's pretty close, yeah.
It's just not. This is like Joker colors, which I love. And then this is just red. I wanted to get a whole rainbow, but I restrained myself. The main reason I also got these is because they also go really well.
Are you gonna use them together?
This guy. Oh, just in my blanket.
Oh, yeah.
But like, this is a very bright color, so my brain's like, putting these around it would probably be great. So yeah, I feel like it's a reasonable amount of yarn for having gone to like 5 or 6 yarn stores.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty good.
I didn't go nuts. And this is really like, worsted weight minis are really hard for me to find. So this was really great. And yeah, so this will be all my stash enhancement for like a real long time.
It makes me want to buy yarn.
I think that's the point. Yeah, and it doesn't count for stash because it's all souvenir yarn, right? That's
exactly. Souvenir yarn never counts.
No, of course not. Yeah. So yeah, that'll probably be the last stuff I buy until Knit City. And even at Knit City, I'm like probably gonna buy like 2 things, if that.
The advantage of working at Knit City is that, like, I set up on Friday with Mike, and then I tend to do a walk around when everyone's like mostly finished, so I get something of a preview, and then you can like, I don't know, I feel like I have time to sit on it and think about it, because I'll be like, if I see something that I really want, I can at least wait till the next morning. Yep. And then, mind you, certain booths I don't have the time to get to, because when they're crazy, then we're often crazy too. But so Sweet Fiber is usually cleaned out by the time I get there. But
just have to go out to Langley more.
I know. Yeah. Thing is, you got to time it right, 'cause she gets cleared out at Knit City, and then she's only got limited amounts.
She's getting married this year too.
Yeah, and but she also does like the Knitters Frolic in Toronto, and she does a bunch of different shows, and so you have to kind of like time it so it's not a time when she's doing a show and has actual amounts of yarn.
Yeah.
I think just special order too, but
that's true. I think the only thing I'll probably end up getting at Knit City is if there's like BC Lions colored sock yarn.
Oh yeah.
Because apparently that's the only socks my dad wants to wear anymore. Which is slightly annoying, so I just have to make a stash of BC Lions colored sock yarn. Because I also there's a limited amount of orange, white, and black sock yarn that exists.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking because it's around October, maybe there'll be more Halloween colorways. We'll see. Either that or I'll just have to knit like Pittsburgh socks and just not tell him that they're Pittsburgh. Yeah. So store news. We don't have a ton of stuff happening. Well, we do, but we don't.
Our Canacal is still going on.
Yeah.
Make sure you get your finished items posted in the finished object thread in our Ravelry group.
Yep.
That ends at the end of September?
Yeah.
Yes.
September.
Next time we should show the gifts we're going to give out.
Yes, I will actually sew the bags.
Yeah.
And do the things.
Yarn and stuff we're going to put in there as well.
Now that I'm not moving, I can do the thing. And what was I going to say?
Purple hats. We're collecting purple hats for babies.
Yep.
You can find information on the website, clickforbabies.org. And we are collecting till the end of September as well. So,
Yep.
And there's more new yarn, which we didn't bring over.
I can run over and grab it if you want to start talking about it. Or we can just do it next time.
Let's do it next time, because
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what I wanted to. We're changing the store around tomorrow and Saturday, so if you come in next week, you will see the whole winter setup.
We can also possibly like do a thing next time. To show what
Yeah,
the store looks
yeah,
like
once
now
we
that
switch
we've moved
it.
everything.
Although I just got a notice we're getting another box of yarn with some of the ones that we're missing on. It's coming on the 30th, which is Wednesday.
Well, that's
I
good,
think
I
so.
guess.
We'll leave some gaps in the walls and factor that in. So
Good plan. And I did want to say, if you are local, we have updated our class schedule.
yes,
So we have, well, Glenda's sweater class is full. My featherweight class is still a thing. There's beginner knitting, and we're going to do a crochet class in October.
should be fun.
So we'll see. We're going to try and have more sweater classes for.
Yeah, I think we just
Knit
have to
City
confirm
after.
2 more sweaters and get those in. There was something else I was thinking. Oh yeah, I'm going to do a mitten class.
Yep. I
haven't
think Kelsey
decided on
wants
the
to do
names.
like a slipper class, maybe.
Yeah, a slipper class, and then lots of things. And if you guys have ideas for classes that you want, just send us an email. And we're back
With that
For
phone
2 seconds.
interruption, I think that's all we have to say. So
Yeah.
we will see you in 2 weeks, hopefully with a pile of finished knitting.
Yes. Ooh, and I'm actually got quilting books out, so I'm going to try and play with some sewing
Yay.
because I need to. My arm is bugging me. I need to take a rest from
Craft all
sewing.
the things. You can work on the tea towels.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we will. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.